Breaking: UPS has offered the first buyouts to drivers in its 117-year history. But the UPS Drivers Union is calling these buyouts insulting, saying that they are nowhere near enough and that UPS is trying to weasel its way out of providing good-paying jobs. Ouch. Now, why is UPS offering buyouts in the first place? Well, the business isn't doing well, and it doesn't take much to imagine why. Their shipping volumes are flat. Well, just like a lot of people's shipping volumes are flat, because there's not as much trade going on these days. And again, I think you know why that's happening. So in a desperate effort to cut costs, UPS is buying out drivers and laying off employees. You may recall that they laid off 20,000 employees earlier this year. These are the unfortunate consequences of a trade war. But according to the union, these buyouts simply are not good because they're much less than what drivers could make by just staying on for the remainder of their contract.
Yes, I've had some folks ask me, yo, Teamster Teacher, what's your thoughts on these UPS buyouts? One must first remind themselves of two things. One, what is the point of a business? That answer is profit. That's the number one interest. Everybody knows that. It's no secret. The second thing, what's the best and quickest way to do that? We've talked about that before. It's called workforce manipulation. So they do that in two ways to manipulate the workforce. You can thin the workforce by trying to get rid of people, or speed the workforce up, make them go faster. So I think a better question is, what is the interest of the company to propose this buyout? And if you just paid attention to the first half of the video, I think you might guess my answer is that the interest of them is to minimize the workforce by way of buyouts, by not consulting the union in order to thin that said workforce to generate more profit, moving higher paid guys out and lower paid guys in. I also think that other than minimizing the workforce, there's another reason here. It's a little bit more coded and probably less direct, but dividing the workforce. Have you noticed all the infighting that's already taken place when we need to be redirecting that focus onto the company and their motives? That's more important to me. My question to you guys is, do you think the company is doing this out of the goodness of their hearts, or is there a profit motive here for them?
In a major shakeup in the logistics world, UPS, United Parcel Service, is making headlines after announcing a buyout plan for thousands of its employees, including long-serving managers and administrative staff. This move comes as part of a broader cost-cutting strategy aimed at streamlining operations and staying competitive in a rapidly evolving delivery market, especially with growing pressure from Amazon's own logistics network and FedEx. UPS confirmed that it will offer voluntary severance packages, buyouts, to a significant portion of its corporate workforce. The goal is to reduce headcount without resorting to layoffs, giving eligible employees the choice to retire early or leave the company in exchange for a lump sum payout, continued benefits for a limited time, and possibly job placement assistance. According to reports, the buyout will affect non-union employees, largely those in white-collar roles, across several departments in the U.S. This follows UPS's earlier announcement of a strategic plan to cut $1 billion in costs by 2028. Reactions have been mixed. Some employees welcome the opportunity to take an early retirement or transition out with benefits, while others express concern about the impact on morale and workload for those who stay.
Well, it's happened. They talked about the UPS buyout today, which honestly is a joke. Anybody that takes it is out of their mind. I feel like if you're about to retire or something like that, it might be worth it, but they're offering us $1,800 per year that you've worked, which is nuts. I've been with UPS for 10 years. Like, that's a slap in the face for everything that we've worked for. So do not fall for that. If you are a driver, don't take it, don't do it. It's ridiculous. You are worth so much more than that. Know your worth. Always know your worth.
Buyout procedure is going to look like $1,800 per years of service. This is being received very poorly from most of the membership, who feels like this is not something that rewards their time. However, if I'm being honest, what my position on this has been, this is the same company that has offered 75 cents as a raise in 2023 at the bargaining table right from the get-go, so I was not expecting a generous offer.
I was just glancing through the Wall Street news today, and UPS is offering a buyout. And that could be big news. What happens in big companies tends to have a trickle-down effect to fleet owners like you and I. So UPS, the men in brown, the people in brown, just approached Teamsters about a buyout program for some of its workers. And at the same time, they're saying they're still fully committed to the union contract. So what does that mean exactly? Well, essentially, it means UPS is trying to cut some costs, right? Maybe because delivery demand has cooled a little bit since the pandemic, and they want to, avoid some messy talks with the union or layoffs. So they're offering incentives for certain employees to leave voluntarily. And why does this matter to fleet owners? Why does this matter to potential fleet owners? Well, first of all, this could shake up the driver pool, right? Because not everybody behind the wheel of a van is a van driver. Some of them are actual CDL holders. And this also could affect their line haul. So if experienced drivers take these buyouts, you may see some more qualified CDL drivers looking for new opportunities. Whether they're coming to drive for your company or they're getting their own truck, we don't know yet. So that's one to look out for. And second, it's a reminder that even big players are trimming operations to stay lean and keep the margins at a certain level. They may not always do it with creativity. They do it with technology, okay? They do it with laying people off. You as a smaller fleet owner or potential owner, you got to be thinking about how to keep your operations efficient, like focusing on more profitable niches. So we'll keep an eye out on how this UPS story is going to affect the freight market. Because there's always a trickle-down effect, okay? That's big money.
The UPS buyout isn't just another corporate move to cut costs. It's part of a much bigger story that began years ago, rooted in decisions that reshaped the global economy. When Trump launched his aggressive trade war against China, it set off a chain reaction that is still unraveling today. His administration imposed steep tariffs on hundreds of billions of dollars worth of Chinese imports, aiming to punish Beijing and bring manufacturing back to American soil. But those tariffs didn't just hit China. They hit American businesses, importers, and global shipping giants like UPS. As the cost of importing goods skyrocketed, many businesses were forced to find new, more expensive suppliers or reduce the volume of products they shipped altogether. The once steady and predictable flow of international packages suddenly became volatile. UPS, whose business model thrives on global consistency and volume, found itself caught in the middle of an unpredictable storm. The trade war pushed many small and mid-sized clients to either scale back or shut down completely, meaning fewer shipments, less revenue, and more pressure on logistics providers. At the same time, UPS had to spend more to adjust, reworking delivery routes, expanding to new markets, investing in automation, and later navigating through COVID-19 disruptions. While the pandemic briefly boosted e-commerce shipments, that surge didn't last. What lingered was the long-term impact of a fractured global supply chain and rising operational costs. Fast forward to today, and UPS is facing a very different economic reality. Labor contracts have become more expensive, fuel prices have surged, and competition from Amazon's in-house logistics continues to grow. All of this has led the company to initiate voluntary buyouts as a way to trim its workforce without the negative press of mass layoffs. But make no mistake, the roots of this decision go deeper than just inflation or package volume. It's the result of years of strain, beginning with political decisions made in Washington that sent shockwaves through ports, warehouses, and delivery trucks worldwide. So while headlines may focus on corporate restructuring, the UPS buyout is also a quiet reminder of how trade policy, especially one as aggressive as Trump's tariffs, can reshape industries in ways that unfold slowly, over years, long after the speeches end and the cameras are gone.
So, here we go. Number one, UPS is offering us full-time drivers buyouts to bail. Get out of here. Here's some money. You can leave instead of firing everyone. I'm gonna take that shit, bro. Take that. It doesn't make any sense for most people, right? If you've been here for like 0 to 12 to 15 years even, like it doesn't make sense for you because it's not going to be enough money to make it worth like what you would make for the rest of your career, you know? So for most people, no. Unless you're someone that already wants to leave. UPS is a great job. We make good money. We have great health benefits. I understand all that for sure. Fuck yeah. Unless you're someone that wants a little bit more out of your life than just that, than a good, good money. There's a lot out there. I know the grass isn't always greener. I completely understand that. I would never just up and leave a career to pursue an unknown. I'm not that guy because I got, a family, I got a wife and kids at home. But this could be an opportunity that if you wanted to leave already, at least you get some money out of it. You didn't want to sit here and do this job for the next 30 years. I don't think I do. It beats you up. Work-life balance sucks. You're hardly home. It's hot as shit outside and it's hot as hell out here in Houston, bro. It's brutal, man. So if you are someone that really wants to leave already, take that shit. Get out of here, man. Go pursue your dreams. At least get some money out of it. I don't even know if they're gonna really go through this anyway because the union's fighting them like tooth and nail, bro, about it. But we'll see, man. There's a lot of unknowns happening, but we'll ride it out and see what happens. At least give me some numbers. Give me some numbers so I can think a little bit more about it, Right now, it's just like, maybe they're going to do it. We don't know.
In the end, what we're seeing with the UPS buyout isn't just a company making cuts. It's a reflection of how global decisions, like the Trump's tariffs, continue to shape everyday lives. From disrupted trade routes to lost jobs, and now massive restructuring, it's all connected. The ripple effect of politics, policy, and profit is now hitting American workers at home. What do you think? Are we just witnessing the beginning of more corporate buyouts? Or is this the price America pays for trying to regain manufacturing power? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you think Trump's tariffs helped or hurt the economy in the long run? Would you take a buyout if your job offered one? Thanks for watching. If you found this insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Orbit Point for more breaking stories and deep dives into politics, business, and world affairs. And if you're already subscribed, turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update. This is Orbit Point, where the world comes into focus. See you in the next one.